Hello, and welcome back to yet another Boomeadow build in which hopefully, just hopefully, we will actually get this. Yes, you can gift and steal gold, Spinner, in the campaign, yes. I decided I would make it a touch more interactive for the campaign, so yes, there is that. There is also, I believe you can also gift inspiration to the players that you deem worthy. I am setting the parameters though that you can only gift or steal, or basically, yeah, there is a limited amount of times, basically once per player per session. So 6 players, 6 opportunities to gift, but the idea is that it can only happen to 1 player per session once, just to try and limit the possibilities that there may or may not be, any unfairness that might come up, basically. $9,000 points, Spinner. That's a lot. You could probably do it all once per session and give a couple people, because I think the gold is, well, you can be a benevolent god, I guess. If you were to so choose that you wanted to be a benevolent god. So yes, they did get into some shenanigans on Saturday. They landed in Corkwood, so I'm very excited about that. So yeah, they did arrive in Corkwood. They have made their way to the local tavern. I believe Rick has gotten a letter from one of his friends, Dell. No, I didn't manage to coax everyone into the campaign. I still hold out hope that I will be able to convince them to eventually guest star, but I'm not holding my breath. We adore Evil One around here, but at this point they have given their indication that they don't want to. So, which I have to respect that. As much as it sucks, because Evil One is by far one of the most amazing player characters that I have had. So, but as he had pointed out, he has quite a number of characters in the world already. So he wants to give new people the opportunity to experience my world. I thought we'd listen to some. Yeah, see, I thought that was a nice way to look at it. That they basically want to give other people the opportunity. So yeah, we have had some interesting shenanigans already. We have a number of player suspicions of other player characters and what others are doing in the world. So that's exciting for me. I do like that. I would love it, Spinner, if you could watch along with the stream. And yeah, obviously, if you're able to catch it post-stream, that is also wonderful. Obviously, we just love the fact that, you want to be there, you want to participate. And, that's... I am glad that you would like to join us, basically. You'll actually get to see for yourself what the characters are like rather than hearing my third-party takes on what I think of my players and things like this. Although, I am learning a few little things like I tend to care a lot about the narrative of a story and how it works and how to get it to interact and things like that. And that is important. That is something that is important to me. But I also understand that some players, it's not as an important thing. So, I just hope that you actually get to see it firsthand and actually see. Well, you've gotten to hear me talk ad nauseum about what my DMing style is like and everything. Getting to see it firsthand for yourself, I think, is important for your own kind of like conclusions. One thing I am learning is obviously learning that it's okay to say no sometimes. Just like a straight up no. Because sometimes that happens. We already have had a couple of changes because I do usually allow my players to change their character builds up until the third session. So we've just recently had our third session. So their builds are now in concrete. So for example, Hasa, who is our alchemist, he has changed out one of his schools, fields of study, basically. So he had a giant construct that he had made himself called Ash. He has decided to change it away from the field of mechanics to the field of blight breaking, which will make him a little bit more, have a few more healing powers, a bit more clerical kind of feel to him. Because what the alchemist is essentially it's a wizard base. The alchemist, why it is a homebrew class, it has a basis of essentially very similar to wizard mechanics, And then depending on what fields of study, give you a bit more of your influence of what other classes it kind of is. So he's gone field of mutagenics, which kind of give him a wild shapey kind of ability, so a little bit of druid. And then blight breaking is healing, so it'll put him into the realm of clerical abilities a little bit. So in terms of multi-class, we've only got the one multi-class in the Bardlock of Breeze. So yes, Breeze at the moment is our only Bardlock. As our only multi-class. But we do have a couple of custom classes. So the Alchemist is obviously a custom class. Bao the Tabaxi has a custom Warlock pact in the Pact of the Boogie Woogie Woogie. Breeze, I believe she is, I want to say an Eloquence Bard mixed with a Succubus Soul Warlock. We have a custom sub-race in Crisis. Crisis is a Titan-born Aasimar. So instead of being straight up like angelic basis for his build, he has the power of the Empyrean Titans in his bloodline. So, but he's got some weird stuff. He also has some weird stuff going on with him though. So, yes, which I can't wait for you guys to see more about everyone's stories. Yes, I can't wait for you guys to see more about each of the characters' stories, their character arcs. I have figured out some really interesting things about where I'm going to take each of the stories. I have been figuring out solid basis for where at least the main plot is going now. So we'll see how that goes. Hello, Tigger Tank. And also, hello, Tydrana. I will save just for you. Thank you for that. It is always good to have you here. I'm trying to keep all of my secrets so that, it'll be fun for you guys to learn things. I also cannot wait for the day that Spinner can join us in person on Saturdays. No, don't leave, because I'm not telling secrets, because now that the game is live, I can't tell too much about the story, because otherwise then what would be the point of people watching it? I gotta be mysterious now, apparently. Yes, you must stay. We're listening to some lo-fi music today, as opposed to my usual beats. Stay because you're forced. I would never force anyone to stay if they did not want to stay. Because, let's be honest, that would be pretty boring for them if I forced them to stay and watch me build maps. I'm hoping, as per usual, I am turning around and saying I am hoping to get this done today, but we'll see, because, yeah. Okay, you have encountered a dilemma. What is your dilemma? This is why I said I don't know why you and Valcor were so set in what you were doing. Yeah. Well, I've had enough people over the years, particularly with my world, make connections, obviously, to Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I thought I'd go with it. Add in metal bending. The punchity punch. Yeah. See, this is the thing. To a certain degree, I'm kind of happy that no one went real melee fighters in retrospect. Not that that would be a problem if they wanted to. It's really interesting that a lot of people built, without knowing too much about the world when they were building, they built casters and things like that, and stuff that could be done at a distance, which is good considering that obviously the actual nature of the world has become very apparent that there is going to be firearms, and because there's firearms, there is going to be that level of, well, how much combat, and we won't know until we see more and more combat, how much combat is actually going to be up close and personal, or how much is going to be like right up in their face. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I am mildly concerned about accidentally killing any members of the party. I don't really want to kill anyone, but I do want there to be that imminent danger that you'll actually die. But at the same time, I would be lying if I didn't say there were certain characters that I'm actually terrified that I will kill. I'd call the party super tanky. They are definitely not tanky. I think you've got skill and ability, definitely. But I also know kind of vaguely now where the campaign is going, at least. A party that's mostly warlocks, what could go wrong? You mean in a world where magic is already volatile and unpredictable? Jeez, what could go wrong? Hail, Sarge, how are you? At the moment, the biggest threat to the party seems to be each other, because so far, this is actually the first time I've done the 2 truths and a lie. So basically, each of the players gets a set of rumours from each other. They don't know whose rumours they've got, or who got their rumours, should I say. And they kind of has to, from that, the rumours, they kind of ascertain what's a truth, what's a lie. But this is the first time that the party hasn't immediately divulged all of the secrets about themselves, like sat down and just like gone, oh, well, I heard these rumors and I heard these rumors. No. The party is like full on, like sitting down, investigating and being like, this person is suspicious. I don't trust you. I don't know if you would tell me the truth. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. We are seeing... I'm really excited to see how our detective kind of players are going. Yeah, it's actually really cool because the party, like, straight up is trying to figure out what's a truth, what's a lie. Can they trust the people they're in the party with? At the moment, they did try to get Rick and Crisis to join them. Crisis was a little bit more easygoing with joining them on the basis of, hey, we could be paid. And then found out that they're like, we can pay you an exposure. And Crisis is like, I don't know about that, Chief. But there is a possibility that there is payment, that there could be payment in the future. So Crisis is a bit more like, yeah, I could get on board with this. However, Rick was like, yeah, no, I'm going to do this job and I'm going to go home. And at the end of the session, only known to Rick and obviously the viewers watching because it came up on screen for them as well, Rick actually received a letter that's basically telling him that maybe his stay should be in Feyawyr should be extended, which he's not happy about, but the character also knows why he should extend it. So, which I can't wait for more people to discover about our little raccoon man. Is he shady? Is he not? We shall see. But he does seem to be seem to have a very strong sense of the law, basically. Oh no, there is a home to go back to. Definitely a home to go back to. I haven't nuked any towns just yet. But within his story, he has written reasons as to why he would have been encouraged to stay, which the rest of the party will find out, as will the fellas. So, which I can't wait. There's actually a number of characters who have decided to leave home for various reasons, and some of those questions have been asked already, but have also been avoided. A few of the player characters have been a few of the PCs have been a little sketchy as to why they left home. So I can't wait to get to the bottom of that a bit further. We've had comparisons that Hasa is a bit like Milo Thatch from the Lost City of Atlantis. Trying to figure out what players remind people of what characters and the like, so. So yes, I'm very excited for you guys to experience more about the world. Not just the world, but also the actual story that's coming to slowly be revealed. So the one thing that the players have at the moment is that the sturges that attacked the ferry, this is not a one-time occurrence. This seems to be happening a lot lately. So that is one thing that they've kind of picked up, and they're like, well, that's unusual. One of the people that Crisis had actually been sent to find, or there was a guy who basically went through a midlife crisis, essentially, and had decided to come to Feyawyr from Enthalemere. I have once gotten to play in this world as a PC, yeah. The wonderful Dr. Psycho, who is a friend of the channel, but also plays the Pink Ranger in the Power Rangers game with me. He actually ran a one-shot in the world back in the second era of the world, where I got to play a blood hunter who was basically training for my initiation to basically see if I could actually pass the test to go through the initiation to take the potion to become a fully fledged blood hunter. I managed to succeed with a lot of creativity. I believe I rolled really, really well to essentially foil the... I can't remember what it was, but it was... we had to defeat an enemy, and I managed to put it inside a bag of holding. I think I rolled a nat 20 to do it. And so yeah, I managed to close it inside a bag of holding and close it up, thus killing it. So my companions and I basically all got to undergo the blood hunter ceremony to become blood hunters. But I think while I did manage to become a blood hunter, I did unfortunately have a side effect from the potion, taking the potion, which meant that I ended up having a second head, which is kind of cool. But yeah, other than that, no, I haven't actually gotten to play in my own world. The closest I get is getting to play NPCs, but even then I do tend to hesitate about playing a DM NPC, just because this is the player's game. It's not, I get to have the enjoyment by watching people experience my world, how they interact with it, how they want to see the world, basically. Because I have a very strong opinion that, and I always have, although it has been a bit of a learning curve of learning this, I think, like a lot of new DMs. Originally I did struggle a little bit with letting go of control, but then I realised a big part of what makes D&D so special and so fun is actually letting the players have free reign in the world to make the decisions and actually interact with the world, because this is collaborative storytelling. And I realised in the end I got a lot more enjoyment out of actually getting to tell a story with people rather than just focusing on the story I wanted to tell, because at the end of the day, if I wanted to do that, I would just write a book. If my story that I'm telling was so important that it needed to be told, I should just write a book. And I will say there is a certain area where I have been slowly writing a draft of a book. But of course it takes time, and I have far too many hobbies for my own good. like map building, like streaming, like playing video games, running D&D, doing my actual job. So unfortunately, I do have to make a little time to write it every now and then, and it's about there is a possibility that the players will meet the characters of this book. Their names are Lord and Lady Sarah and Valentine Astley, and they are vampires, so it's a vampire story. But yes, not enough hours in the day. Or if you that concept of, well, just make time. If I did that, I would not get sleep. And I'm sure that if you've been around for a little while, you've probably noticed I have been a little unwell lately. And that tends to happen when I'm not getting enough sleep, unfortunately. So yes, I do sometimes have a habit of burning the midnight oil just a little too much. So part of what I have endeavoured to do this year is actually take a little bit better care of myself, get a little bit more rest, because unfortunately if I'm unwell, then everyone loses out. Yeah, burnout is a very real thing that I struggled with last year as well. Basically, one of the things that really kills a D&D game for me is if I have to basically feel like I'm just dragging players through a story and I'm not actually getting much interaction from them. As I said before, the aforementioned concept of if I wanted to tell my own story without heed to what the players are going to do, I would just write a book. And so, yeah, I do end up, the times, especially with a D&D campaign, when I end up feeling the most burnt out is if I literally feel like I am dragging players through a story. Because it kind of comes with that thing of like, and it's not because I don't ask my players, oh, you know, what would you like to do that interests you, that kind of thing, and then getting their encouragement and their engagement. A few pieces of advice I have been given in the past is maybe my world is a little overwhelming. So this time around I am making it, while it is an open world and the players can explore as they would like to explore, I'm trying to keep the story at least a little more linear, just so that there's not so much decision fatigue on behalf of the players. I will accommodate if they want to explore things. I will accommodate that. I'm happy to. While also trying to keep the story a little bit more linear, a little bit still open insofar as there are multiple ways that they can get to a result, but also making it so that it's... Yeah, exactly. And that I'm trying to limit the decision fatigue because I would really like this campaign to come to fruition. Also, I don't want the story to feel rushed either. I know when we ran the Realm Witch campaign, which was the campaign that took place in the second era of this world, that campaign ended up like taking 3 years, and even then we still didn't get to completion. Now some of that is because over time there were a number of player changes that were made, and obviously every time you bring new players in, you need to take the time to establish them and things like that. So some of that did take place a little bit. But yeah, so there have been reasons why my campaigns do take a bit longer. And one of those things as well is sometimes the parties do have a tendency to divide themselves up into groups or individuals and go and do their own thing, which is absolutely fine. But every time that happens as well, it means that I do have to focus on, instead of one group of people and being able to, for them to move through the world, obviously now all of a sudden I'm having to divide my time and split party chaos, and that's the problem. You can split the party and it's fine, and I'm happy to accommodate that as well, but be aware that the days are going to go a lot slower the more you want to do that. I also, this time around, I also want to make a real focus on the players taking their time to actually do things with their downtime activities. But also interact with each other, show interest in each other, not just only doing things that are useful to the party or they might be able to use in the future. I'm thinking while I'm going to, encourage people to do downtime activities, I do also want them to have other player interactions. So while obviously they're still going to be able to do what they would like to do in their downtime activities, there may be more rewards here and there for people who actually take the time to invest in the party, and not just from like a mechanical standpoint. I want, one of the things that's going to, I think, bring the actual overarching theme together. So there are two overarching themes that I do tend to kind of have for this particular campaign. One theme that always runs, two or three, two themes that always tend to run are fate, i.e. your party was always meant to find each other because it was decreed by the goddess of fate that you were always meant to find each other, because clearly you had something that within you that the world needs. Because I do tend to write big epic world fantasies where you should want to be a hero. Like the world needs heroes, basically. But the other thing is I tend to do balance, and usually through no manipulation of my own, the way that players write their characters, and obviously I try to leave the stories open enough that multiple kind of people can fill a role. But usually, even if it's an anti-hero, exactly. And usually I find the way that parties tend to write their own characters are the fact that they tend to have an opposite within the party or similarities within the party. And this party already has a lot of situations arising that certain party members will be able to see their own stories reflected back at them, their own reasons for doing things reflected back at them. Even if those reasons aren't always going to be happy, trust me, there is going to be some situations where the things that the characters see aren't necessarily always going to be happy for their character, but they are going to be able to see similarities. And the party did that themselves without talking to each other, just by writing their own backstories. There are a lot of links and connections like this already in the party that I really enjoy getting to see. And I can't wait to see play out. So, and the third theme for this particular campaign that is going to become really prevalent is, what is worthiness? And what does it mean to be worthy? And so a big part of this and how this is actually going to actually work, it actually does require the party to invest in each other. Because while I want it to become, important, while I want it important that, having other people's opinion is important, and while your own self-worth is important, getting other people's perspective on what would make you worthy, kind of thing. And worthiness, it doesn't necessarily mean moral. I will state this. One of the key overarching things is that I have for the actual main plot is, what does worthiness mean? But it doesn't have inherent ties to morality. And it does kind of tie into the prologue, I guess. It does tie into the prologue where I mentioned creation, destruction, reality, memory, elemental, ethereal, chaos, order, and balance. And so there are elements of that tying in, and obviously the party and the followers at home will get to actually see what that is. And I think I've talked about it before a little bit as I've been building these maps, about a concept that I was doing in which I did a lot of research into the metaphysical principles of the universe and how they would correspond to the party and how they would correspond to the story. So all of those things are kind of in place there with that, and how I'm planning on tying all of that in. But yeah, so a big part of that, and a big part of what is going to hopefully really impact the party is, and one of the lessons I really want that's going to be incredibly apparent, and so I'm still figuring out how I'm going to do it, but I do want to reward the concept that you are more valuable than just what you bring physically to a party. So your value is not necessarily just in what you can physically bring to a party. It's this concept of, oh, well, you're strong and you know magic and you know all this stuff. Yes, but what else is there? Why do you like me? Why should I stay with a party if, I think that I'm going to have any big moments? Who knows? That is up to the party and how they interact. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have like a Scanlan, what's my mother's name moment. I really want that. But again, that comes down to the party and their interaction with one another. So yeah, and that's the thing. Wonder if there's going to be any outcast. Wonder if there's going to be any misinterpretations of what people are like, because, no one knows the real them. And, but that is actually going to come into play with the BBEG. So it is very, very important. It will be relatively important that the party gets to know each other, because that will be part of the challenges that they face. Knowing each other, plus the worlds that each other come from as well, because that is also going to potentially tie into that. So yes, I've been working on a lot to try and figure out how all of this is going to make sense. Yeah, what's my mother's name? Yeah, I'm hoping that we have some really, really good moments, but that can't happen if the party... I'm very much expecting that there is going to be misunderstandings. It's going to be hard for there not to be, just because, for example, two of the characters literally come from Anthalmia, a different plane of existence, where the experience they've lived and the experience they've grown up with is very different to some of the other party members who grew up in relative peace, who only heard stories of the Witch Queen tyranny. You've heard the stories, you know that they were bad, you heard about the demon war, they're all stories you've heard, but you've lived in a world where there is relative peace. Magic isn't as feared in Feyawyr. Why would it be? They have no reason for magic users to be as afraid. that was part of the reason as well. I think I wanted to make one of the channel points gifting. And I will say this, Spinner, the players cannot gift each other gold or take gold from each other, and they can't gift each other inspiration either. So, because that would be a little broken if the players could do that. So it is one of the reasons why I decided that one of the channel points for the game should be inspiration, is so that you guys, the viewers, could grant inspiration to people that you think deserved it. You know? So it's not just me being the arbiter of, well, you did a good job. You know? Because what I think is something that is really, really good, you know, you guys might have seen something that someone else did as really amazing and should be rewarded. So, you know, there is a higher chance and a higher likelihood that players are going to be rewarded for really cool moments. My reminder to you guys as well, get some water, drink some water. It's important. Staying hydrated is important. I politely request, I do not demand. I would never presume. I love the fact that I've already dropped a couple of bombshells in character about certain scenario situations. Things like that make me super excited, especially if the players are like, I understand. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next. We've had our first... Everyone has gotten their first look at what one of my tavern menus actually looks like too. So I hope it lived up to everybody's expectations. I think I made a couple of players angry too because it made them hungry. putting in roads. That is what we are currently doing. Hopefully they look like they have chocolatey, gooey chocolatey goodness. Trying to decide what map I should do next after I've finished Fairy Cross. We could do a Barrow map, which is, the Barrow maps are essentially undead Fey run towns, Fairy run towns, so they do tend to be underground, so I could do something like that. I do have a couple of foresty like battle maps I know I'm gonna have to need as well eventually. So what are we thinking? What would you guys like to see? Hello, Tyrant Dungeon. Yeah, feeling significantly better after having a decent rest. The only thing that I will say that I'm a little bit frustrated about is I did wake up very early, but I heard the first part of the game last night, then promptly fell asleep. So I slept from about 7:30 right through until about 3 a.m. So feeling a little bit better, definitely. Am frustrated because while I got a lot of sleep, I would have preferred to sleep through till morning and then, you know. So we'll have to see what happens. If I need a nap later, I will have a nap a little bit. Oh, I've heard a little bit. Drop Bear told me a little bit about it this morning. He was very, very excited about the outcome of his creative making, his tinkering. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, on Sunday nights over on Evil One's channel, Tide Runner Tyrant Dungeon, and I play Star Wars over on Evil One's channel. This evening, thank you. Yes, this evening we are actually playing Power Rangers with Uzu Mecha, World's Best Third Year, and That Steve Man, as well as Dr. Psycho. So you can check us out over on Evil One's channel this evening as we play our way through Star Wars. On Wednesday night we have Grung Gang as well. So yeah, definitely check us out over there if you want to see my mad RP skills. I tend to play... Normally I try to play pretty smart characters. I like playing intelligent characters. I feel like my Power Rangers character is significantly more intelligent than my Grung Gang character. Yeah, absolutely no problem. I will keep that in mind. Well, I absolutely 100% understand. There was a part of me that is thinking about taking maybe the Wednesday. Well, I don't know, because Wednesday tends to be when I do the longer stream. The ASMR click clack, yes. That's what happens when I need to send messages and things like this. Drop Bear sent me a message via Discord, so I had to respond. But yeah, no. I had been thinking maybe about either taking the Monday morning stream off or the Wednesday stream off just until the end of April, so I can get some work projects done, because I do actually have a lot coming up recently. But I will know a little bit more in the future. But how would you guys feel about that if I ended up taking some? Yeah, unfortunately, work does take priority. Just one sec. I love it when the postie comes and doesn't actually ring the doorbell. Does that ever happen to anybody else? I tried to drop off a package and never rang the doorbell. It's very frustrating. this is the thing as well. If I take just off until April, 1 day a week off until April, Spinner might forget that I exist. I think Spinner's like one of my OG followers has been following me from the start, which I have to admit, really appreciate you. Love your work. Yeah, happening a lot lately, and it's really frustrating. So I'm just getting the roads in. Trying not to be too fastidious about it, because some of these will actually get covered by trees and stuff. Vegetation. I also realised that as I was thinking about this, as I want to do at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm awake, that I'm going to need to describe. Well, because I can't use pictures and things like this, I'm going to need to describe corkwood a little better for basically everybody who doesn't know what it looks like, because it's just not it's not just your standard D&D town, basically, because it is a Fey town. And despite the fact that Corkwood is mostly run by material run, as I'm referring to it, I do need to be a little bit more descriptive in actually telling people what it looks like, what they can see, because from the actual town map that people can see, there are a lot of really big trees. A lot of really big trees with platforms where there are buildings and things like this. So I think I'm going to have to describe it a little better. Yeah, it is the first time in D&D that I'm actually going to have to really be descriptive in my world, and because I don't have pictures to rely on. Yeah, and this is the thing, like, everyone's expecting it to be like a really human-run town, but it's not. The fact is there are, well, so far, I don't think you've met a single human character, like a human NPC. But not only that, magic is so intrinsic in Feyawyr. So, yeah, walking down the street and seeing someone doing magic, bard performances, circus performances, and street people like that using magic. The fact that there are some races that just use telekinesis and things like this. Yeah, there isn't even a human in the... Yeah, there's not even a human in the party. So, yeah, I feel like I need to be a little more descriptive on my actual world building, so people know and understand a little bit more what the place actually looks like and what they're experiencing, basically. So, because being Feyawyr as well, humans aren't even the predominating race, like the predominating species. We've seen more bearkin lately, a lot of bearkin. We had our first look at Peris as well, which are from the Corpus Angelus. They're essentially a really cool race of humanoids. Yeah, what is human? Really cool race of humanoids that feel emotions really strongly, react to emotions really strongly. So, and because of that, they're really curious. And yeah, they do tend to call people out when they notice that they are feeling less than happy, or anxious, or, you know, they want to share in people's emotions. So obviously it makes sense that the first Perrys that the group interacts with and meets is in the local tavern. The tavern owner and the bartender there are both Perrys, and the first thing they call out is they're like, hey, what's going on with you? You seem to be troubled. You know, which could be especially confronting for player characters who are from Enthalemere, which you will end up seeing a lot more humans and stuff like that in Enthalemere. And so getting called out for, you know, your feelings, your emotions and things like that would be really different. You seem very sad. Yes, you seem stressed. You seem sad. Yeah, I'm very intrigued for some of the plot lines for the characters. I'm really, really excited to... I can't wait for some of the characters to get the hooks that they are going to get, basically, for the start of their story arcs. But yes, I have figured out the leveling system to a certain degree with story arcs. So I know when you guys are going to be vaguely-ish leveling up. So that's all set in stone now, so that makes me happy. Because I like to have some of those things already set down, and because I do milestone leveling, it's not like, oh, after we've finished this combat you're going to get to level up. It's not like that. It is set to specific moments, but that being said, it's not whether they succeed or fail on a moment. A lot of the times I do try to set my milestones for they just have to interact with it, you know. But I don't set it to just like, oh, one particular thing, you know. So and once the players figure out what the actual like corresponding thing is as well, they will be able to kind of decide a bit more as to how fast or not they are going to level up. But, you know, that is going to come with also caveats that the faster they level up, there is going to be more impact on how it affects the party as well. So, how visible the party becomes as well. Shalakard, welcome. I am making some chocolate roads. We are finally back in Fairy Cross. Getting this hopefully finished up today, we will see. Yeah, chocolate roads, because Fairy Cross is in the Sweet Hills. The group has had a really fun time in campaign. Just last session, learning that in this particular area, some of the wildlife has been less than pleasant. So the gummy bears and the gummy worms, giant ants and things like this. Yeah, they've been more aggressive than normal. Because, of course, a sugary, sweet place in the world would obviously worry about things like giant ants and, you know, things like that. The noble gummy bears, yes. As for Fire Ganassi being here, I mean, they would feel very sticky a lot of the time, I'm assuming. It is, obviously, there is a level of magic with this place, obviously. Yes, level of magic with this place that does interact with it. So, obviously, you can't just come here and absolutely melt the hell out of a place. Because that would, one, be devastating, and two, be horrific for the people who live here. Just bear with me one sec. I have to let my dog out. Oof. Sorry about that. The big bangs and clunks as I get reseated. If you are liking the music as well, I'm listening to Lofi Girl beats to study and chill to. I figured I would make today a little bit more chilled out, relaxed. What did you find out, Tyrant Dungeon? Oh, goodness. Yeah, Roger should be bumped up. Gummy Knights and calling their Order of the Comestible. That's pretty cool. I might actually take you up on that suggestion, Shalakard. I am really looking forward to. There is a Kickstarter I have supported. That should be coming out, I believe, this year at some point, called Fat Magic, and everything in the world, the whole campaign is designed around edible magic and things like this. Some of it is just flavor texting the name of spells and things like this, but there is actually a number of things within it that I'm actually really excited to put into this world as well. Hey, I would like to say I'm not particularly a forever DM, but... Uh-oh, funky audio. Oh no, what happened? Am I not coming through as clearly as I should? Is it all a little bit funky? Check my mic plug. Should be fine. I'll just double check. Give me one sec. Oh, music has static. I don't know why that would be. The music is coming through the computer, so it might just be the music, maybe? Oh no, it's good now. Fine, okay. Could just be the internet connection. No, it could be the internet connection. Who knows? Yeah, so I've got a couple of Kickstarters that I've sponsored and supported. Lots of, obviously, lots of things with celestial focus and things like that. I'm really excited for the Historica Arcanum. That's a really good one. Yeah, and Shalakard, I am not 100% a forever DM. I do play over on Evil One's channel, playing Power Rangers this evening. We also play Star Wars on Sunday nights, and we also play Grungang, which is all by Tydrana, which is an all grung D&D game on Wednesday nights once a fortnight over on Evil One's channel. So you should check that out if you would like to see just sheer chaos. Redeem. Thank you for the save as well on your way out, Tydrana. Yes, so you can check out all of that Shalakard. If you would also like to try a new system, I believe that Evil One is advertising for the Star Wars game on Sunday nights for a new player, and I think that's run in the Star Wars, I want to say it's a Fantasy Flight system, I believe. So I believe the only caveat is you must be over 18, just because it is a streamed game. So yeah, because it is a stream game, Twitch does have some rules about streamers under the age of 18. So yeah, it is actually a lot of fun. I believe the group last night, unfortunately I was not feeling very well, so I was not in the game last night. But yeah, most of us haven't played it before. But I believe they attempted to blow themselves up last night thanks to the Wookiee, who is played by the wonderful Drop Bear. So yes, I believe they did some, yeah, almost blew themselves up, yeah. I believe the Wookiee did tell them to run, though, once he realised that an explosive charge... Yeah, sure. apologise for the noise in the background. Unfortunately, my recording studio is smack bang in the middle of my kitchen, so if you are hearing the sounds of washing machines and things like that, that would be alright. Yes, I do unfortunately not have my own office per se. It is an attachment. I am essentially in a big... my recording studio is essentially a big moving blanket box. Yeah. Yes, mine is a moving blanket and PVC pipe made box. Essentially, audio foam as well in the middle. Yep. Yep, that is the story that I got from Drop Bear Tyrant Dungeon. So, I mean, it wouldn't really be this party if they didn't loot the dead, so... I mean, Roger is still staying with us though, so who knows? I think that's the point that a lot of the party is. A lot of the party is indeed scavenger races, so... I think if it was explained to Roger that a lot of these... I think that's part of the problem, that a lot of these characters haven't actually had the opportunity to sit down with Roger and explain why they loot. And a lot of the reasoning is legitimately the fact that they rely on looting and things like this to actually get the things that they need to actually survive and things like this. It's not just an arbitrary... oh, we do it because we want gold or money or anything like that. Yeah, we don't have a stable income. We are terrible bounty hunters, as we've discovered. But yeah, we're doing our best, basically. I mean, my character is a Jawa, so we kind of tend to loot from everyone. Yeah, it's been proving very interesting, basically, having those discussions, essentially, with having those discussions with, for example, the battle droid of like, because when we met the battle droid, essentially, I can understand why the battle droid doesn't like the concept of looting from the dead, because when the battle droid met us, one of the first things we actually did was loot the dead bodies of the people that they care about. So I can understand why they don't like us doing it. And why it appears particularly mercenary, I suppose. I mean, I think we've at least taken a job now, partially because we are, I think, from what I've been told, we left where we were in a hurry because apparently Darth Vader and the Empire is kind of looking for not particularly us in particular, we're not actually anything important, but I believe they are looking for our ship, which is a very unique ship. It also doesn't help that we also have a Jedi on our ship, which he clearly does not want to be found by the Empire either, so. Oh, yeah, sure. This is the town so far. I'm about to put some trees in before I put in essentially smaller roads and things like this. If I even need to put the smaller roads in. Yeah, this will be the fifth session of making this. I do get considerably more done on the longer recordings, which is one of the reasons why I think if I need to take a break so I can get some more work done and things like this, I'll probably take the Monday because it's only a 2-hour stream on the Mondays. Because then on the Wednesdays, it'll be a 2-hour in the morning on the weeks that I have the Grung Gang. But then I'll have like a 4-hour stream on the weeks that I don't, so. Oh no, I can't imagine getting it done in 30 minutes. I've got a couple of forest maps that I've done, and I did get them done in 3 maps done in 3 hours. Yeah. The town maps have been particularly big though, and when they're really big maps like this, they're a lot and these maps have been a lot bigger than I had originally anticipated. So yeah, no, the maps have been a bit bigger than I anticipated. I might bring these trees down to 35. So the biggest tree you'll get is this one. Okay, the other thing I need to do is put these trees up a couple layers. So the name of this apiary over here is thanks to the Wonderful Tyrant dungeon. Yes, of course. Which, of course, one of the channel points that you can actually redeem is actually getting to name businesses and districts and stuff in town. So, yeah, whenever I'm building a town or whatever, keep an eye out on that because, yeah, you can make a contribution to a town. Because, yeah, I like to be able to involve my followers in it and, you know, get to make a mark in a town and getting to see, essentially, something that you have gotten to build. Yeah, see, the other thing is, Sherlock Art at the moment is I actually don't know what one I want to build next, basically. I don't know if I should do a battle map next. What do you guys, and this is what I mean, like, what do you guys want to see me build next? Do you want another town map? We could do, as I suggested earlier, we could do a barrow map, which is essentially one of the undead Feyawyr towns. Yeah, they can interact with the game. Depending on how those game interactions go, I might add others. But because it is a slightly more serious campaign, the one thing I didn't really want to do is make it so that, obviously, as much as I'd love the opportunity for... Oh, the music's a bit loud. Why has the music gotten louder all of a sudden? I don't... Give me a second. This particular song got real loud. Is that a bit better? That turn it down a bit. Turn it down a bit. You watch, it'll be really quiet in a minute too. But yeah, let me know if that's a bit better. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I like to hear. Yeah. So I was a bit hesitant to allow, for example, choices that would be particularly chaotic to the group. So I did kind of have a look about whether I should allow, for example, things like, getting to decide on, getting to change the outcome of something, or a wild magic roll, or things like that. See, that is one thing I could do, Shalakard. But I also want to do something that you guys want to see. That becomes the problem here. Like, not deliberate, I will say that. Not deliberate. There is about to be green going in here as well. But being trans-coloured hills, not deliberate, but I can definitely see that as well. I believe it's also... might be the bisexual colours as well. So, again, not deliberate though. Just like, I just wanted these particular hills to be really pretty colours. More to the point. Because it is a candy-coloured wonderland. Put in some green while I'm at it to see what I'm working with and what we need more of. Because this is the thing, I've got a couple of combat maps that I could do. I need to do a couple more foresty kind of ones with kind of like a huge swathe of dead foliage throughout the middle of it. So we've got that I need to build. Because the ferry did not crash, because there was that possibility that the ferry could have crashed, I had a couple made in case they did have to trek and potentially keep some of the passengers alive. So that was always also a possibility that they would have had to do. But that didn't happen. So I do still have those Fey maps, so I could definitely reconfigure and reuse some of those. But yes, I need to do... I've got a battle map already. I've got the battle map done for the lake. That's already done. So yeah, we could do another town build. We could... I just want to know what you guys want to see more than anything. Because at this point, it's not so much by what I'm inspired by as... what's kind of available out there. And what basically the players want to see. And that you guys as the viewers want to see as well. Okay, we can, on Wednesday we can, because I've got a feeling it'll be Wednesday that we start that. On Wednesday we can do a battle map for the forest. I have a plan about what is going on in the forest, because I also now know what I'm doing with the actual campaign as well. So that helps when I know what battle maps I'm going to need, because obviously I have figured out what I'm doing in the world. That definitely helpful. And obviously I won't be able to talk about too much about what it's for, but it will be fun, hopefully, for you guys. Come up here, we'll put some green in, I think. Oh, I need to move in closer. This is clearly a park that people can stroll through. Because it's so close to the university that's here, a lot of the university students can come here and have their lunch and stuff. That was the point of it, basically. My problem is I keep jumping all over and picking different coloured trees and stuff like this, and I should just do all the pink trees first, then scatter in some blue, scatter in green. Might want to save in a minute too. I did think about putting some mushrooms in here as well, so I don't. Because some of these buildings, as you can see, have candy houses. Thank you for stopping by, Shalakard. It was wonderful having you here. I hope you have a wonderful dinner, and I will see you next time. See, I do have some really lovely leather-bound books, which I record all of my towns in as well. So I've got them all in one place when I need to go find them eventually. And when I build them, I do go through and I also create like the name of the people who own shops and things like this. So all the NPCs and all that kind of stuff is all in one place. Do a quick save. I'm hoping the next town I work on is a little bit smaller, because it would be like, I remember back in the day when I used to be able to basically get a town build done in like maybe one session of building. But I wonder if I put more time into it, and I just didn't think I was putting so much time into it. Music being funky again. Now, some of the songs, I will say, I do know that some of the songs do actually have static in them. It might be my internet connection. I cannot 100% say, unfortunately, because it's coming through the desktop, so hopefully it improves then. If you hear some weird noises, I also apologize. My kitten has jumped up onto my desk. So she may be the noises you're hearing. Like licking noises. Normally I don't allow her up here, but she has a real habit of sitting on my mouse pad for whatever reason. Which isn't always the most convenient because it does kind of limit how much room I have to manipulate my mouse. I'm glad. Yes, working on maps is important, Taryn. You can't lay there. And that's part of the reason I do these streams, so you know we can kind of just build together. Okay, I think there's just one more little thing I want to do, which is just some last little plants down here, I think. Oh, no, that's not going to work. It needs to come down. That's all well and good for plants, but we'll also do some of these ones, I think. Just because they're nice and pretty. I think for the most part I've done a substantial amount of roads and stuff and made it look all pretty decent. So as long as we think it looks mostly good, it's really good. Okay, I think the only thing that's missing is I haven't put, obviously, the name of the town, the banner, the borders on, but I can do that after stream when I get a little bit more time. Otherwise, I'm happy to call this done. So if you join me on Wednesday morning, we will be starting up a battle map, a forest battle map, so I hope you can join me for that. Otherwise, join me tonight over on Evaone's channel for Power Rangers, in which I play the Blue Power Ranger. I will see you tomorrow for more Lost in Random, and if you want to see what all these maps are used in, you can join us on Saturday nights for the State of Anarchy game. And get to see all the crazy shenanigans. If you don't manage to catch the live game, you can watch it here on Twitch as a repeat kind of thing. Otherwise, you can catch it over on my YouTube channel of the same name, Boomeadow. If you want to get in contact with me, say hi, that kind of stuff, you can reach me on Twitter and YouTube. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening or night, wherever you are in the world. Drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest, look after yourself, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day.